Well, I find myself here again in Blumenau. I was here a couple of weeks ago and back in town. I was thinking I probably didn't want to do another video, but last few I kind of dumped on Blumenau for weather that was not the best. It seems like every time we're here that the weather's cloudy, rain, things like that. But today, beautiful day. I don't know, 31, 32 degrees. And it's hot. So, say, always kind of been giving Blumenau a little bit of a bad rap as far as the weather is concerned, but it is nice here sometimes. And so just want to go for a quick walk in town. You can see people are out. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. People are out. Just wandering on the main street again. You know, this is one of those cities that I really like. You know, it's not super exciting, or there's events that happen here around the year and things, but it's just a nice, warm, welcoming, small city that you can get around. It doesn't, for me, it's very low stress. It doesn't have a big city feel, and then you have this main area with the shops. You just get out and see people, life, movement, and just getting on with their daily lives. Of course, shopping, but I like the little shop, being able to go to a local place, somebody that's got some skin in the game as far as the business is concerned. And so I seem to end up back here fairly often because it is so inviting, and people are quite nice here. And if you're in the downtown area, even over towards some of the Village Germanica, there's some fantastic restaurants. You know, they have a little bit different attitude about being out. Last night we were out and just had a beer just about a block from the hotel. People out, some live music. Just sit, have a beer and maybe a snack or something, and people walking by, people having a good time. And just down after the place we were at, the bar had a guitarist, and there's a man and a woman singing, and they were really good. And then they got done, and just down the street, a bar started up, and they went pretty late in the night with a band. And I just don't see that much in the United States, that type of thing where it's easy to get to a venue you just walk to, or a quick Uber ride or taxi or something. So I'm sure there are some of those types of things, but it seems to be a lot more common here. And again, back to the Blumenau thing, it's a city, but it doesn't have that big city vibe. You know, we're in Curitiba now, and the area we're in is pretty rough. It's nice and busy during the day, but in the evening, it's you need to kind of leave that area to get anything and feel comfortable and safe. And like I say, any city, I'm sure there's places of Blumenau that probably aren't the best. But nowhere downtown in this area or near Village Germanica over near the colleges. Nowhere have I really felt anything but safe. So, like I say, it is a warm day. I debated about doing another video in Blumenau, but it's too nice. If people watch it, great. Well, if you don't, well, no big deal. You know, I do these videos for me, and if it helps people, great. If it doesn't, it's a good place to store some of your travels. You don't have to put them in a box in a closet or lose a hard drive or something. You throw it on YouTube and it's there. So, yeah, hopefully people will get a little bit out of this and you know, open your eyes to a little bit different places if you hadn't thought of them. You know, kind of out of the box. You know, people think Brazil, it's Rio and São Paulo. Mostly Rio, but it's much different than that. And you know, Rio has its very nice places, and it's not so nice places. So, and it's a huge city, so you have that type of life. You do have neighborhoods that are really great, safe, trees, and you know. But overall, you still have to be a lot more careful there. You can't wear your, you don't want to be wearing nice things. You don't want to have a nice watch, because you may end up without it in some places in Rio. Here in Blumenau, I wouldn't hesitate. Actually, last night when I went out, you know, I have a nice watch. Not a Rolex or anything like that, but a nice watch, some nice clothes, and we went out. No worries. Cash in my pocket, credit cards, you know, no issue. Just go out and enjoy yourself. You don't necessarily have to be head on a swivel, but that being said, you have to be smart about your travel because it is a city and there are opportunists everywhere. And that goes for any city in the United States, any city in Europe, probably more so in some of the ones in Europe. I've heard stories about just pickpocketers and people that are just kind of waiting for you to let your guard down and grab your wallet and run, or camera. So. And say my wife was warned in Curitiba, you know, don't wear a necklace, don't wear any nice jewelry out until you get to a place, and then you put it on when you're at the place, and then when you're ready to leave, you take your jewelry off and put it in your purse or your pocket, and you go. But I don't get much of that in this area. We haven't spent much time in Florianopolis, so I don't know 100% what's going on there. I heard it's pretty safe, but it is bigger than Blumenau. You know, there's in cities, there's plenty of parking. You're going to pay for parking. They also have these machines here. You can go and pay for your parking in a certain area. That was something new since I started coming here. New a couple years ago. Then, of course, you've got parking places and garages and lots and things like that you can pay for by the hour or half hour. Some of them break it down into quarter hours. One thing you do notice here is when people go out, they generally dress a little nicer. You go to the malls again, they dress up in nice dresses and clothes and shoes and go out. And in the evening, I don't know if I'll get a video this evening or not, but you see groups of people out in there dressed well. They like to look good when they go out. My wife and I were debating about the differences in cultures. In our small town, there's places to go, but not, basically at 9 o'clock the place shuts down. There's a couple little bars, but and a few restaurants that stay open, but there's no downtown area. There's no area where people congregate and just sit in the evening and talk or have a snack or a drink, or there's quite a few little bars around here. Like I say, the alcohol is driving here is zero tolerance for alcohol, but the infrastructure again is great, so you can get an Uber or a taxi very easy, even a bus. There's lots of that here. But the little bars are everywhere, and I don't see people getting crazy. There's a bar, they're having a good time, they may get a little loud and stuff like that. I've never seen a fight at a bar here. I've never seen a bunch of people just sloppy drunk. We did get a little bit of that at the carnival, and there are drunks, but in general, people here stay pretty well in control when they're out partying. And that's something that makes it nice to go out. And the thing is they go out and they go to the bar or they go out to the outside terrace and have a beer. So there's a lot of families that bring their kids. Last night there was a table, there was a little family next to us. It was probably 9:30. Mom and Dad had a beer, and the daughter, she's probably 10 years old or so, they got her soda, and they got some snacks. I didn't pay too much attention, but it was like French fries and things like that. And they just sat and talked for 45 minutes there at one table outside. Traffic going by, people going by, and they were having their family moment. So I just think, again, it's cultural differences, and I couldn't, we as Americans kind of want our space, we want to be our thing. Our Friday night is sitting at home in our big house watching our big screen TV on Netflix or something of that sort, and drinking alone at home, and I don't know, it's what our society has become. You've got your own individual house, and people. Meu português é muito básico,
Tá.
desculpa.
Eu tô pedindo ajuda para pagar um aluguel. Eu sou mãe solo. Eu tô devendo R$600 do aluguel. Eu tô pedindo ajuda para as pessoas. Eu tenho Pix, se a pessoa puder ajudar.
Eu não tenho Pix. Sorry, desculpa. And of course, in any city, there's always people asking for money. Very little here in Blumenau, though. You see a few homeless people, but not many. And they really aren't that obnoxious either. You know, they may ask a little bit, and you know, sometimes we give, we don't usually give anybody any money. You know, if we see somebody that's a family or something, we may buy us a stabazika and do that, because you don't know. You don't want the money to go buy alcohol or drugs or whatever. So yeah, that's kind of what we do. But we do that on occasion. Again, so we kind of look at the situation of the person, and if we think we can help, genuinely help, we will do that. There is a lot of there's a fairly large range of incomes here in Brazil. It's less so in the south, more so in the northeast. The disparity is huge. In the south, it's better. And Blumenau is one of those little bit more wealthy cities. And you can see it by the people walking by and the infrastructure and just the movement. So on a day like today when it's super hot, this little street here is nice and calm. Yeah, I mean, it's still busy, but it's got shade. Traffic's a little slower. You get outside of this street that turns into a city. Hot, not much shade, and traffic going bonkers around you. So you just walk in this area and get my walk in for the day and get my exercise, and yeah, just another video.